Hello and welcome into the KE Report. I'm your host, Shad Markwitz, and today we're getting an update on AbraSilver Resource Corp. AbraSilver is traded on the TSX under the ticker ABRA and on the OTCQX under the ticker ABBRF. And I'm joined today with the president and CEO of AbraSilver Resource, John Miniotis. And John, always great to get you on the show, and especially when it's to announce a big update to the company's board of directors, really the chair of the company. And you put out some news on the 24th of September that incoming Marie Inkster is going to be stepping up to the role. And she has an illustrious background with a lot of big companies, household names that people will recognize. So it's a graduation point for the company here to beginning to this point where you can bring on the caliber of team that you have to complement the team that you already do have. So maybe talk about this addition of Marie to the board.
That's right. Well, thanks very much, Chad, for having me back on. And yeah, we're absolutely extremely excited to welcome Marie Inkster as both a director and now chair of our board at ABRA. Definitely, this is without question, I think, a tremendous addition for us. And I think it really represents the final piece of the puzzle in rounding out, as you mentioned, a very strong, well-balanced board now. And so, I think Marie's, has a very, very highly respected, she's very highly respected in the industry, has a, outstanding track record here. And so, yeah, I think for those of your listeners that may not know her, Marie spent many years as a CFO of Lundin Mining, which is where I first worked with her almost a decade ago now. And at the time, I remember she was recognized in the Brendan Wood survey as being one of the top gun CFOs in the industry. So certainly one of the most highly regarded CFOs in the mining sector. She later on became CEO of Lundin Mining, so president and chief executive officer of Lundin Mining, and really helped grow the company. And so, look, I think, again, based on her experience, she's been very deeply involved in financing, building, operating numerous major sort of mining projects all around the world. And then since Lundin, now she's served on several boards. She was recently on the board of Vale, which is, of course, the large Brazilian company. I think it's about a $50 billion market cap. And currently, Marie also sits now on the board of Cameco, the world's largest publicly traded uranium company. So clearly, this is, again, having somebody of Marie's caliber join our team, I think without question, is a huge endorsement of the high quality of our asset and the existing team that we have at ABRA. And I'd say, look, in terms of timing, this couldn't have been a better time for us to welcome her. As you know, I mean, our company is looking to transition from exploration into development in the very near term here. So yeah, this is a great addition at the perfect time for us.
Well, it's absolutely one of those milestone moments for the company where you are transitioning, like you say, from an exploration. I would argue you've already been in the development stage, but you're actually moving towards a construction decision next year.
Mhm.
So a very exciting time for the company and nice to accent it with an addition to the board like this. We should probably also mention that the prior chair, Rob Bruggeman, is still staying on as
That's right.
a director. And I just hung out with Rob at the Beaver Creek Convention. Such a sharp guy. But also, you mentioned rounds out your board. Maybe walk us
That's right.
around the rest of the board and just the different strengths that some of the members bring to the table.
That's right. Yeah. No, it's a very, very important point. So importantly, yeah, Rob is staying on as a director. And so, again, he's very, very valuable to our team. But yeah, when you look at sort of the deep expertise now that we have really across all the key disciplines, I would say, so certainly I think our board really stands out. So on the legal side, Hernan Zabaja has been voted as one of the top 10 most influential mining lawyers in Argentina on numerous occasions. And so great to have him on the legal side. On the investment banking side, we have Jens Mayer, who's had a very, very successful career in banking. He's a principal at Infor, one of the largest independent brokers in Canada. On the technical side, we have two very strong board members, Steve Gatley, Nick Teasdale. They both sort of have served as heads of technical services at Lundin Mining and at Wheaton Precious Metals. And then, as you mentioned, Rob, and then we have Sam Young, Flora Wood, and they all have very deep expertise in IR, corporate development, capital markets experience. So yeah, look, I'm very, very fortunate. It's a great pleasure for me to report to such a strong board. And so, yeah, no, I think this really rounds out the board. I think we have an exceptionally strong board for a company of our size. And then, yeah, alongside of me on the management side, we certainly have a very, very strong management team. So, really specializing in exploration and in project studies and in development. So, yeah, no, really a great position now to really move the company forward, as you mentioned.
Well, and one other layer I'd like to add on to this as far as the growing brain trust at AbraSilver is the partnerships you have with some of the major companies, not just Central Puerto as a utility company operating a big business in Argentina. So it gives you some lay of the land there as far as future power requirements and Argentina in that sense as far as permitting and direction of how you'll incorporate some of that power and some of the partnership there, but also the two majors, having Tech involved at La Coipita and having Kinross involved at Diablillos gives you the ability to access their growing teams and their bench strength. So maybe speak to the ability to network with these larger majors and how that helps the team on the ground with their work.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great point. I mean, yeah, we do have strategic shareholder support on top of our team. And so, as you mentioned, yeah, the first is Central Puerto, which is our largest shareholder. They are the largest utility company in Argentina. They have, as you can imagine, excellent connections in Argentina. So, on top of our connections with our team, it's great having one of the largest utility companies in the entire country. Obviously, very heavily in favor of moving our project forward. So Central Puerto brings with them lots of important contacts for us. But yeah, in terms of the other strategics, as you mentioned, Kinross is an investor in us. They own about a 4% stake. They invested in us last year and also reinvested again this year when we did our financing earlier this year. And yeah, no, we have very, very good relationship with their technical team. And so, yeah, they've been helpful for sure, especially now as we're looking to drill some of these other targets, the porphyry targets. I think having those types of investors obviously has been a great benefit to us. And you mentioned Tech, of course, Tech now going to become a titan of the industry now, merging with Anglo. And we have a partnership with them in Argentina as well. Very, very strong relationship with them. They've been an excellent partner for us to work with. So yeah, no, strong, board, strong management team, top shareholders, long term here, strong balance sheet. All the key ingredients are in place here. So again, you never want to be too optimistic, but right now the stars seem to be perfectly aligned for us. And we check off all the boxes really. And it's great again with gold and silver doing what they're doing and us advancing our project at the right time in Argentina. We're really in a enviable position, I would say.
Well, let's talk about the position you're in. It is a rarefied air to have a company in the silver space, but with a huge gold kicker that's moving towards the part of the process where you're kind of through the orphan phase here of all the different de-risking work and metallurgical studies and permitting work. I mean, that's still all ongoing, of course, and you're building towards your definitive feasibility study that should be out in early 2026, but you're really getting to the point where you're getting towards that construction decision in that moment to capitalize on the RIGI laws that are in Argentina that you need to act on by next year. So maybe walk us through where you're at as a company. There's not many companies I can think of in the silver space at this point, John.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think there is definitely a scarcity of high quality, especially on the silver side, high quality primary silver projects. And again, for us, the economics are almost 60% silver, 40% gold, I would say, at current commodity prices. So this is certainly one of the few high quality primary silver projects entering the stage that we're at, which is a feasibility study stage, getting our permits here within the next few months, and looking to, obviously looking for project financing next year and then declare a construction decision. And so, look, it's, as you know, in the mining industry, it takes years and years and years to advance a project. This project was discovered, back in the 90s, so over 30 years ago, but really over the last 6 years here, sort of been running the company and we've really tremendously grown it. We've essentially tripled the resource size here. We've, completely de-risked the project. We've applied for permits now that we're waiting for those. Made a whole bunch of new discoveries, as you know. And so, yeah, no, based on all that success, again, I think it's very fortunate that now, as we're entering this last stage of exploration and advancement of the feasibility study in Argentina, having turned the corner recently in gold and silver prices at record highs, I think it's just a great time for our company.
Well, and let's maybe round it out here with the exploration side. You mentioned entering the last stages of exploration, but there's so much exploration on your property. It's a huge property to begin with, but
Mhm.
probably the last exploration as you build towards this big study. Let's remind people of where you're at. You're in the phase five program now. You've had four prior phases. You've really expanded the resources, but now you're doing a little bit of expansion, but also testing some of those new targets, some of those new areas to connect areas. Maybe give us a little of the sizzle on tap here, John, as far as exploration coming down the pipeline.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah. So our exploration, as I'm sure many of your listeners know, is has historically it's been focused on occulto and then over the last few years on Jack. And Jack was, of course, a very high grade near surface target. And as a result, I mean, we were drilling holes at Jack, like to drill not even a 200-meter hole at Jack, which was your average depth. Sometimes it would take us 3, 4 days. And so you could drill, almost 2 holes a week, sometimes at Jack. So it was very, very efficient drilling. And that's, we were able to have very, very timely news flow there on a regular basis. And so, yeah, well, I think Jack has obviously demonstrated lots of growth for us over the years. Oculto, same thing. Now we're looking at sort of these deeper targets. So Oculto East, where we hit that very high grade gold zone, we're following that up. It's a deeper gold target, but obviously with those types of grades could, transform the economics of this project. But these holes do take a lot more time. You're not drilling them 3, 4 days. I mean, some of these deeper holes take up to 2 weeks to drill. And so that's why a bit, the news flow has been a bit slower than what we've seen in prior years here. But yeah, I think we're drilling sort of the depth extension sort of at Oculto East, looking for the high grade gold zone. And now as we speak as well, we're drilling a new target about 4 kilometers away, Cerro Blanco, Cerro Viejo target. And those are deeper holes as well. So we're looking for sort of, the next phase of growth here. These targets prove out to what we think they can be, could be sort of transformational for the project as a whole, because these are deeper targets, but they're much larger targets than I think some of the others that we've drilled here over the past few years. So yeah, we're very excited and can't wait to just announce more news flow here on a regular basis. And then on top of the exploration, as you know, I mean, we're expected to get our permits here very shortly. The EIA approval is expected well before year end. I think that's a major de-risking catalyst for us on the horizon. And then also we'll be applying for RIGI, which is that new incentive regime in Argentina, well before year end as well. So of course we'll press release once we've applied for that. And we expect to receive that approval around the same time as we finalize our feasibility study early next year. So it's really all coming together here for us. And so, yeah, I think over the next couple of quarters, we're going to have a project that's essentially ready to be built.
Well, it's an exciting time for the company and still a lot of catalyst on tap through the end of this year and heading into next year. Everything from exploration and permitting to tapping into the RIGI laws and those advantages economically it brings to the project, as well as putting the financing package together and the definitive feasibility study coming out next year. So, a lot on tap for AbraSilver. For those listening in, if you want to follow along with all this news, definitely click on the link below in the show notes. It takes you right over to the AbraSilver website, straight to their news section where you can follow along and have them hit your email inbox or just watch them hit as they hit the news wires. John, keep us posted. It sounds like some of the drill news will be coming out in the near future from this phase five. We'll keep people posted there. And as always, looking forward to our next conversation.
Thanks so much.